Hello, and welcome to Beatrice Weekly Health Tips. Today I'm going to talk about sugar cravings. This is a huge subject. I had so many, and I still have so many patients that are craving sweets and feel that they can't get out of it. Why is that? Well, because sugar is extremely addictive. It's actually 4 times more addictive than cocaine. This is proven by an experiment that has been done on rats and mice. So sugar is extremely addictive. Why is it? Why is it that it is extremely addictive? Well, first thing is that sugar feeds bad bacteria. It feeds some type of bacteria in our gut that are going to grow when you are eating sugar. And these bacteria actually have the ability to create a form of alcohol. This form of alcohol is called acetaldehyde. Acetaldehyde is extremely addictive to the brain. So when you eat sugar, it's like when you're drinking. You're simply creating some form of alcohol that makes you totally dependent on it. And when you don't eat it, those little bacteria in you wants them. And when you don't eat it, you feel like a withdrawal. You feel like an alcoholic, without his booze. This is why it's so difficult for so many people to get out of eating sugar, because of the addictive um, point that it has. You have to know also that sugar feeds candida, and candida by themselves are going to create even more toxins that are going to affect your brain and create brain fog, create depression, anxiety, insomnia, etc. It actually affects neurotransmitters. Sugar feeds parasites. We all have parasites in our gut, so there is no point to panic about that. However, the more you're going to eat sugar, the more you're going to feed these parasites and candida and bad bacteria. And we know very well that sugar makes people gain weight. Actually, when people want to lose weight, I made a podcast on weight loss. I just tell them to avoid sugar and carbohydrates. And that's the best way to lose weight. So sugar makes you gain weight. Sugar leads to cardiovascular diseases because of the increase of blood sugar and the increase of triglyceride. Triglycerides are very irritant to the arteries. Of course, sugar will lead to diabetes and obesity and what I call the whole American modern diseases. And as you know, in the US and in all modern countries, sugar is hiding in a lot of food. They put them in salad dressing, in chips, in everything, where it has no business to be. However, the food industry put that in there so they know that people become addictive. So what to do to prevent these sugar cravings? First thing is to eat protein and to eat fat. The more protein and fat you're going to consume, the more you're going to stabilize your blood sugar and the less you will crave sugar. And when I say stabilizing your blood sugar, what it does, it avoids the hyper roller coaster of the blood sugar. When you go hyper like that, when you're in hypoglycemia, you feel fatigue, you feel brain fog, you feel like you want to eat sugar. And when you're in hyper, you don't feel anything bad actually. You feel good because sugar is a booster, makes you feel much better on the moment, or let's say an hour after you have eaten sugar. The problem is that because you have eaten something too sweet, your pancreas is going to secrete insulin to grab the sugar and to put it into tissue. And it's going to do that over and over, and the more you eat sugar, the more you're going to create insulin So the insulin can grab the sugar and put it into tissue. The problem is, if you continue to do that, you're going to develop what we call insulin resistance. That means that the cells in your body are not open up anymore to the insulin. So you keep secreting insulin, 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 and the cells are not taking the insulin. They're becoming resistant to it. And insulin resistance will lead to diabetes, pure and simply. So the way to get out of that vicious cycle is to stop sugar cold turkey. It will be hard because you will go through withdrawal. I have patients that call me crying. They were crying because they could not have their sugar and they felt so bad. They felt really, really, really like bad, bad, bad. However, you have to know that this withdrawal effect, like with any drugs, will pass. And the good part about sugar withdrawal is that it won't last that long. It usually lasts between 2, 3, 4, 5 days, let's say a week at the maximum, and then it goes away. And then, to your surprise, like every single person has told me, you don't even want it. You don't think about it, you don't want it, and when you have it, it's totally overwhelming. It's too sweet. So you can really get out of this sugar craving if you do eat fat, if you do eat protein, and if you stabilize your blood sugar. So what do you do typically in order to, or I would say, what is it that you need to eat in order to stabilize your blood sugar and not crave sweets? First thing is to eat breakfast if you can. If you're hungry, you need to eat breakfast, and it has to be a protein and fat breakfast. A typical bacon and eggs is perfect. The eggs need to be cooked in butter, and the fat of the bacon needs to be harvested, filtered, and put in a jar in the fridge like your grandmother was doing. With that, you're going to cook something later. I usually have in my fridge a jar of pork fat from bacon, a jar of duck fat, a jar of goose fat because I live in France and I can have that. But in the US, you can certainly have pork fat and you have better bacon than we have here, so don't envy me. So you eat eggs and bacon in the morning. You can have a tea or coffee if you are able to handle that. And then for lunch and dinner, again, protein, fat, and veggies. So what's typical for me is pork chop or lamb chop or duck or whatever with veggies or fish, fatty fish. And I'll fix veggies with that. And on top of my veggies, I put lots of raw butter, which is delicious, and salt. You need to have salt in order to sustain your adrenal function, which also helps you to not crave sweets because it maintains blood sugar, blood pressure, and energy. If you need snacks, again, you're going to have a salty snack. You can cook bacon ahead, like a dear friend of mine did in California when I was there last week, and just feed on bacon strips during the day. That's what I did. Snack was bacon. During my trip back to France, it was bacon that I put in a Ziploc and ate, and it sustains me and it satisfies me. You could also do hard-boiled eggs. You could do what I call egg muffins. They're like in a muffin tin. You'll mix eggs like an omelette, and you can put bacon or sausage. You can put veggies in there. You can put whatever you want, in fact, and pre-cook them. And then you have 12 little egg muffins that you are putting in the fridge, and they're portable. They're very easy and delicious. Um, if you feel like fruits, because sometimes we need to rinse the palate and have something a little sweet like a fruit, and you can have some fruit. I don't say that you should have lots of fruits because it is still a sugar, so it could trigger your sugar cravings again. But from time to time, I eat an apple, I'll eat a little tangerine, mandarins, whatever, but be sure that you put fat with it. So a typical snack for me will be apple or pear, or even a banana. I'm not a fan of banana, but you can do that with peanut butter, almond butter, or cashew butter. Or if I have time to prepare them, I'll do some applesauce or pear sauce. I just cut them and put them in a pan with a little bit of water, and then at the end I put cream, like raw cream, crème fraîche, or whatever sour cream you may have available. You can put a little bit of cinnamon or vanilla if you want. If you're able to eat yogurt with your fruit. Plain yogurt, fatty yogurt, in order again to satisfy you and to maintain your blood sugar. So I think you got the picture. Sugar is a poison. Protein and fat are not only good, but necessary and healthy for the body. So don't deprive yourself from them. You're not going to have a heart attack. Please watch my podcast about fat and arteriosclerosis, and you'll understand that these are not the problems. The problems for our modern societies are sugar and carbohydrate. So enjoy your week of Thanksgiving. Have a nice turkey with lots of gravy, lots of veggies, and go easy on the pie. But if you do eat pie, like we do here for Thanksgiving, I'll make a pumpkin pie, only one, and put lots of whipped cream on it. So you're going to balance the blood sugar again. All right, I'll talk to you next week. Bye bye.